Hello, my name is Helen. I'll be presenting on the topic describing the structure and the functions of human digestion, our digestive system, and explaining the dietary requirement for food and human nutrition and digestive system. Next on my slide contain my table of contents, which is the introduction, the alimentary canal, the part of the alimentary canal, requirements of the digestive system, effects of the imbalance in nutrition, current diet recommendation. The next on my list is my introduction. I'll focus on the essential aspects of human nutrition and the digestive system, beginning by outlining the anatomical structure of the human alimentary canal. I'll explain the functions of each of the digestive tracts by highlighting both the chemical and the mechanical process of digestion and nutrient absorption. I'll dive into the historical characteristics of the stomach and the sections of the small intestine, specifically the duodenum and the ileum, and also discuss the primary functions of the liver in relation to digestion. Furthermore, outline the 7 requirements of the balanced diet and their respective rules in maintaining health. The impacts of the dietary imbalance are also going to be addressed, including the various deficiency disease and their associated symptoms. Finally, the presentation will provide the overview of current dietary recommendation designed to promote good health and mitigate the effect of life-related factors and diseases. Next on my slide is the beginning of my the description of my work. So I'll start by saying the process of digestive system from the mouth. It starts from the mouth and it also ends from the excretion of the from the anus. Okay, so I'll start by saying that the mouth, which is also called the oral cavity, is the first organ of the alimentary canal. The process begins by chewing of the food when the food is being put in the mouth, which is it begins its chewing process so through the teeth, and it also help from the with the help of the salivary glands from the saliva. It releases the salivary glands releases the saliva from the salivary glands, and which contain enzyme. Sorry, this is a chemical digestive of carbohydrate, and the tongue will help in mixing the food. Okay, and which is going to be swallowed by forms of bullocks to the pharynx, which is the next my next which is my next diagram, which is showing the diagram of the pharynx is also shown on my slide, which is the pharynx contains of the nasal cavity, the tongue, the pharynx, the larynx, voice, and the esophagus. So the process would go the food will transform from the pharynx down to the esophagus. The esophagus is a muscle tube, which is my next which is going to be shown on my next slide. Okay, that's the esophagus, which is going to be showing, and the diagram is as follows. We have the sphincter, the mucosa, and its function, which and what is also preventing. Okay, so I'll start by saying that the esophagus is a muscle tube that pushes the bullocks downward through the process of peristalsis, okay, into the stomach through the cardiac sphincters. It also mixes with the gastric juice. It prevents the lower esophagus, which is okay. So the preventions of reflux lowers the esophageal sphincter. It helps prevent the stomach acid and contents from the flowing back into the esophagus. So it also help in lubrication, which produce the mucus, which helps food to pass smoothly down the tube. So the next one on my list is okay, the next one on my list is a stomach. The stomach is a gesture which dilated portion of it is the dilated portion of the alimentary tract, which is situated in the epigastrium. So the part has been stated, the esophagus, everything about the esophagus or the stomach has been stated and it's been drawn, which we have the labina propria, the gastric glands, the cardiac glands, the submucosas, and the function are as stated as follows. So the stomach plays a vital role in receiving the food. It's a temporal storage which allow time for digestive of enzyme, that's the pepsin, to act as chemical digestion, and it also convert the protein to polypeptide mechanical. Okay, so it also added the contents of liquefied chyme and non-speedified defense against the microbe providing by the hydrochloric acid and the gastric acid. So following down to the stomach, it passed through, the food passing down to the stomach, the food goes down to the small intestine. So the small intestine is a continuous it continues with the stomach at the pyloric sphincter, which is a little over 5 meters long, and it leads into the large intestine, okay, at the ileocecal vibe. It also lies in the abdominal cavity and surrounded by the large intestine. Okay, so the diagram of the small intestine contain the duodenum and the stomach, the jejunum, the caecum, and the ileum. So all has been stated, and the work of the function of the small intestine is the digestion of proteins and fat, and carbohydrate. Okay, it breaks down the food into chyme by making the food to become alkaline in the duodenum, then mixed with the pancreatics and the intestinal juice via peristalsis, which is stated. This product is absorbed by walls above the valves, and the leftover waste reduce the travels into the large intestine. Okay, so I'm going to go down on my next one is the history. My next one is the history of the duodenum. The next one on my slide is the history of the duodenum. Okay, so the history of the duodenum. The duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. It also about 20 to 35 centimeters long, and it has a C shape of it has a C shape. It also acts as a part which receive the chyme from the stomach and the secretion from the liver and pancreas. It's located just after the pylorus of the stomach, and it also connected the bowel duct and the pancreas duct at the villi of the vata, which has been stated. It neutralizes the bowel, that is the alkaline, and the pancreatic juice. It neutralizes the acidic charm as well. Chemical digestion of the pancreatic juice breaks down the protein, that's the, what is it called, trypsin, fat, leptin, and also carbohydrate. So the bowels emulsify fat, increasing the surface areas of the lip option. Following the next one on my list is the ileum, which the picture is shown. The ileum is contained of prayer and the patches, the submucosa, the regular layer, and the mucosa, the muscular, longitudinal, and the layer musculus. Okay, so the ileum is the final and the longest part of the small intestine, and it has many folds, which is the villi, the villi, the microvilli. It increases the surface of the area from absorption. Okay, and it also contains the prayer patches, which are the lymphatic tissue for immune functions. It absorbs the nutrients. It also absorbs the nutrients that's the final stage of the digestion's product. Okay, acidic acid and like glucose, and it also absorb the vitamin B12 and the bile salt, and absorb the what is it called, it mainly for absorption, while the other one is for a higher proportion of global cells, and compared to duodenum, and indicating the greater need for mucus secretion. The next one on my part is the large intestine. So I'm going to be going next on my last to the large intestine. This is a part. The large intestine is 6 feet, that's a 1.8 meters long, and is about 3 inches to 8 inches centimeters. The large intestine has 3 parts: the colon, the rectum, and the anus. The colon consists of the first part of this colon consists of the first part of the colon. It has 3 inches, 8 centimeters tall, and the ascending colon is the second part of the 8 inches. So it functions as recovery of water and electrolyte formation, and storage of feces and formation of the indigestion of the food that matters. The food matters by bacteria. So the next one I will have is the next one on my list is the liver. So this the liver is the largest gland of the body, which is stated on my work, and the diagram is also as been shown. Okay, it consists of the right epic duct, the left epic duct, the epic portal vein, the common epic duct, the gallbladder, the gastric duct, duodenum, first, that's the first part of the small intestine, the common duct, stomach, and the pancreas. All is stated down here. And liver is our largest internal function, and is also it also plays a vital roles in digestion, expecting through especially throughout the productions of bile. So the main digestive functions are the bile production. It composes of bile salts, cholesterols, and waste products like the bilirum, stored in the gallbladder, and also release the duodenum during the digestion. So the bile is acting as a emulsification. It emulsify the fat, which break down the large into the small droplets. Sorry about that. It also helps absorptions. It helps in absorption of the minerals, which assist in transporting fatty acids. And then it also from the fatty acid, not just the fatty acid, fat solubles, which is a vitamin A, D, and E, K. So intestinal tract. Okay, so it also helps in detoxification. Liver helps in detoxification of substance. It absorbs substance from the gut, regulation of glucose. It also helps in regulation of glucose and the gut access. And then it also helps in storage of vitamins and mineral. So moving down on my next one is requirements for a balanced diet. Hold on, please. Yeah, my next one is requirements of my balanced diet. And we have 7 classes of food, which is the carbohydrate, the protein, the fiber, we have the water, we have the vitamins, we also have the minerals. Okay, so the 7 requirements, which is suitable for maintaining a good balanced diet, as follows. So I would like by saying carbohydrates remain the main source of energy to the health. So rice has been recommended. Rice is a good source of a carbohydrate. Rice, bread, potato, pasta. We need about 60 to 50% of a daily energy to come from carb. Okay, so moving on to my next one is protein. Protons rules in our body is building and repairing of tissues, and which we need for growth. Okay, so we need this for growth. What do we need to have this thing with? We need to have eat a good amount of egg. We need to eat the meat, the beans, and what is it called, fish, all these, and the dairy ones. So next one is the fat. The next one on my list is fat. So fat is rules as a secondary energy source, which is insulations and the protections of the organs. It could be consumed in moderate to avoid heart disease. Okay, so I'm going to move down because of time's sake to my next one. That's a mineral. The minerals help with the bones and muscles functions, which is the nervous system, which is the nervous in nervous systems and the blood. Okay, so it helps in all of those. And it also the next one on my list is what is it called, mineral. So mineral helps with bone health. That's the muscles function, nervous systems, and blood to ensure the control of waste and removal. So 6 to 8 glasses of water a day are recommended. So the diet, the next one on my this thing is fiber. Fiber helps with the digestion, and it also prevents constipation. With the whole grain, you can achieve that with the whole grain, fruity vegetable, and also it helps in cleaning out the digestive system. Okay, so these are the examples of these are the things prevent some these are the things to prevent some gastric disorder, which is example is the cholesterol cancers and diverticular diseases. So and the last one on my list is water. Water is very, very essential. Water is a very, very essential to the body, which is we need in our body, which is also stated. Water is the most abundant constituent of the human body. It makes about 60% of the body weight in men and about 55 in women. It also the basic requirement for body. Some of these functions include to maintain moisture and balance in the skin, regulation of body temperature. It also acts as a major constituent on the body in tissue and fluid. So I'm going to, because of time's sake, jump into the effect of the next one is the effect of a balanced diet. When the body does not get the right amount of this nutrient, several issues will arise. The issues that are going to arise is deficiency disease, protein deficiency, which is a kwashiorkor one, growth and muscle wasting, irritation, vitamin D deficiency risks. We've got many iron deficiency, vitamin A deficiency, excess nutrients is going to excess nutrient. This is which is a too much fat, which is going to lead to diabetes, obesities, and heart disease, and etc. etc. So too much of salt can cause even high blood pressure and kidney problem. Lack of fiber or water can result into constipation and poor digestion, which is, in my conclusion, a good balanced diet keeps your body strong and good health to function well in a proper way. I'll jump into my next one, which is a current diet recommendation. I recommend we also balance our diet. It is very important to maintain good health. If we consume about 45 to 60% of carbohydrate, that should be able to help us keep healthy. Fruits, vegetable, 400 grams. Total fat should be at least a maximum of 30%, and salt maximum of 5 grams per day. So this, and the next one on my list is the malnutrition's imbalances. Of course, we can see the picture, and then we also eat well guide is also on the line. Next on my own is, and my this thing is also my reference, which is stated where my source is coming from. Because of time sake, I would like to end my video by saying keeping well and keeping healthy is a good source of energy to a healthy living. Thank you.